Welcome to the Plotting Change podcast. My name is Merit Sampson, and I am your host. On Plotting Change, we discuss solutions to social issues from the perspective of authors, writers, and critical thinkers. It's a new year, and you already have plans for the year, some goals you want to achieve, some skills you want to learn, some abilities you like to develop. And we know that volunteering is one of the ways in which you can build skills and develop leadership abilities. That's why on this first episode of the year, we want to discuss the topic volunteerism, bridging the gap in leadership and impact. Just in case you have volunteering as one of the things you are on your bucket list to do this year, this episode is going to cover um, the opportunities you can explore, how to get the most out of that experience. Joining me on this conversation is a personality who has made so much impact on this front line. And he's quite passionate about this cause. And I'm really excited that he's able to join us. But just before you meet him, let's take a look at his profile. John Best Uche is a trained and creative media practitioner who specializes in broadcast presentation. He is a public relations practitioner as well as a development and corporate communications enthusiast. He is a professional corporate events compere known for his excellent delivery. John Best is a leadership development and social change advocate with certified leadership training experience from USAID supported Young African Leaders Initiative Regional Leadership Center, YALI RLC, a West African Emerging Leaders Program. He is an ardent believer of responsible citizenry for a better society. He plays multiple roles as the convener of End Depression Campaign, founder and volunteer executive director of Right Minds Leaders Network, an organization for leadership and social advocacy, and founder of the Social Voice Africa. Known for the use of his voice and media platforms to promote and project the activities and initiatives of the influential young leaders, John Best Uche is popularly referred to as the social voice. All right, you're welcome back. We have the social voice in the studio. How are you, John Best? I just have to ask you this. How are you? It's a new year, so happy new year, first of all.
Happy New Year, Merit. Thank you so very much for having me here.
Thank you. Thank you. I have,
And you asked, how am I? Well, I'm fine. I'm okay.
I can see that really.
Where did you see that?
I saw your sister. You're sitting right in front of me, so I can see you're doing well.
Oh, for you? So you know people that are doing well by, sitting, having them seated in front of
Oh
you.
my God, this is hilarious. But yes, you're doing well. You look like you're doing
Okay, I'm not doubting the fact that I'm actually doing well. Of course, I'm doing well.
You
I'm
look
doing.
like you have money, but let's not.
I'm looking like, but anyways, okay.
Okay, it's a new year. All right. Do you think that many young people should be thinking about volunteering, this new year as a way of building skills, developing leadership ability? Do you think it's something they could pursue?
Well, if you ask me, if I think it is something that they should, go into, I think that may be I may be biased
Mm,
to say you definitely would know my response. That is a yes. And that's me being sentimental here because that's has been part of me for the, maybe over a decade. It's been over a decade as since I started volunteering and all of that.
okay.
All right, but I came to the realization of what real volunteering actually entails. Maybe say 7 years, 6 years back.
Okay.
All right, I've been doing it for more than a decade, but professionally, let's say 6, 7 years. And so it's a new year, 2025. Anybody that is looking forward to building themselves, their career, their profession, and anything, all right, I mean, starting as a volunteer, all right, serving may just be one of those ways they could use to achieve all of those goals of theirs.
I know you were just about to tell us how you got into volunteering, so maybe just dive right in.
Okay. I started volunteering. When I say over a decade, somebody wants to ask, so how old are you? I mean, you've been volunteering for more than a decade, so how old are you? Yeah.
Don't worry, I will ask
Anyways,
you.
I'm not going to even answer you in the first place.
I will ask you.
Okay. Yeah. So what I mean is that, all right from my junior secondary school, I've been volunteering.
Okay.
All right. The only thing is that I didn't know what I was doing exactly.
Mm.
I didn't know what I was doing exactly, but I just got to realize that all that I was doing years back
Okay.
was all volunteering. All right, started from my junior secondary school, all right, even my primary, all right. But let's just talk about the junior secondary school where I had to lead my, the press club,
Okay.
all of those social clubs and all of that. Okay, how was I doing it? I took it upon myself to put certain things in place, ensure that certain things were done and done right. All of the presentations the students will put out that period, I voluntarily, come up with all of them.
Okay.
All right. And I was also volunteering to do certain things for the school then. Say, have you heard about this local, manual printing
Okay.
of your signpost and all of that?
Mhm. Okay.
Merit, let me ask you, do you know those signposts they use paint to
Of
work
course.
on?
Yeah.
I'm asking just, so I don't assume that you know it,
I do.
because if you be saying only flex banner, you don't.
Okay, hold on. I have to ask you, how old are you?
Don't see you.
No,
No,
hold on.
you want to. Why are you asking me now? Is it because I'm
Wait,
telling you all of these things?
are you assuming that I was born
It's okay. Okay,
2005?
Merit. Do you know what I'm talking about? If you
I,
say yes, I will move on.
okay, I do.
Okay, you understand. Oh, fine. So I was doing all of those things for my school then. How did I learned it in the school there. Then I was volunteering for the school
Okay.
to do their signpost and then do their banners for inter-house sports,
Wow.
house A, house B, this person's house, all of those. I was printing on them, volunteering to do that for the school.
Okay.
Of course, I was getting some, small stuff.
Wait,
And
I know you didn't negotiate the price, but you were getting financial reward.
yes,
Okay.
I never negotiated, but I was practicing. I was doing something that I loved, something that I felt would be helpful to the school and all of that. Of course, contributing my quota to the well-being, to the development, to the growth, and to for the benefit of the school and all. Just doing all of that from junior secondary school to senior, and then go to the higher institution.
Okay.
And all. I was doing all of this stuff, right?
So right now,
I
would
was
you say you are a professional? I want
So let's leave the secondary school and all of that now to 2020, 2017,
okay.
right? When I got done with my program with NTA Television College as a TV producer, all right, TV and film producer, all right. So I came back to after my program in Jos, I came back to Port Harcourt, NTA Port Harcourt, and then I asked for them to absorb me into their system
Okay.
to practice with them. Already before leaving the school, I already knew that I was going into TV and TV presentation full time. That was what I really wanted to do. So I knew that for me to actually gain the necessary knowledge, I knew I was it was expected of me. It was necessary that I learn from a platform as NTA Port Harcourt. So when I went to them, I didn't go there with school letters or anything for
Okay.
them. I went there as an individual.
Okay.
Anyways, I had done my IT with them before that period. I had done my IT with them. And of course, it's NTA Television College, so I'm also their child, more like
Okay.
their product. So they absorbed me. From that 2017, I started as a camera person.
Okay.
In fact, as a studio or floor manager in the studio, kind of. So I was always in the studio. All right, started from there. And then I was going out for news as a video journalist, the people
Okay.
you call the cameramen,
Yeah.
when you go out to report news, take news, capture news, and all of that. So I was going out from there, 2017, 2018, I was doing that same thing. And then
And you weren't paid for all of
I
it.
wasn't paid.
Okay.
I wasn't paid. In fact, that period, I was staying at Rumigbo. And then, of course, from Rumigbo to NTA, it's Rumigbo. NTA is at Mboba, right? Close to Ozuoba.
Yeah.
And then from Rumigbo, inside Rumoimo, the community, all right, you have to come out to the junction, take a cab to Rumokuta straight to NTA, right? Well, there were days I would trek from Rumigbo to NTA and then probably board a cab back to Rumigbo.
Okay.
And then vice versa. By that I mean sometimes, okay, I'll enter a cab to NTA and then trek back. And so there were days as well that I would trek to NTA and trek back. I wasn't seeing it as anything. Now you may want to ask, so how about the people you are serving? How about the people you are doing
Yeah.
these things with? Are they not friends? Are they not colleagues? Are they not people you could get
Yeah,
the money
nobody
from
could
or to
just-
support me and all of that? I had a lot of them. Of course, my bosses are very amazing people. I could ask them today, hey, sir, hey, mom, please, I do not have transportation. I do not have a fare, my bus fare to go home or come to work tomorrow and all of that. Could you help me with 500 naira? Could you help me with 1,000 naira? And it's just for me to say this and they will give to me. But I wouldn't want to say that I have pride, but somehow, yeah. All right. And that's because I knew what I was there for. I did not want to get myself indebted to them.
Okay.
So my kind of person is, I don't like to do something for you now, or I don't like you to do something for me now. And then when you want to come back to me for, my service, you want to see that as an exchange for whatever it is you've done for me in the past.
Okay.
Maybe if you gave me 1,000 naira yesterday and then you're coming, because I have a lot of things in me, a lot of things you need me to do for you that is supposed to be paid for.
Okay.
So I don't want a situation whereby you give me 1,000 naira today and then you're coming tomorrow to maybe ask, for instance, for me to edit your video, for me to do a voiceover for you, and then you want to use that 1,000 naira to say, okay, because I did this for you, so you should
do this.
So I was avoiding all of that. So I was not asking for their 5 naira. I wasn't asking for their 20 naira. I wasn't asking for anything. The only thing that was not sustaining me is that sometimes we go out for work, for assignment, and we could get paid a certain amount of money. And maybe as a camera person there or video person there, they will just, okay, John Best, take 1,000 naira, take 2,000 naira, take 500 naira, depending on what comes out of that movement.
Okay.
And that could just take me to the house and bring me back the next day, or maybe sustain me for like 2 days or a day at least, and all of that. All right. That was how it was. I was just doing all of that. I could ask, but no, I don't ask. I don't want to ask. All right. So it happened like that 2018, 2017, 2018, 2019. Of course, 2019 was not as difficult as 2018. And 2020 was not as difficult as 2019. 2021 was not as difficult as 2020. And as the time as we were growing, as I was growing on the job and the experience, things became, I was finding it easier. I was finding it smooth. I was finding it more interesting. The experience, the connections I got, and all from being a camera person. From being a camera person, I became a Vox Pop presenter.
Okay.
Right? I was not interviewing on the street for a particular youth program.
At this point, you weren't receiving anything.
No, I was not.
Okay.
Everything volunteering, everything free. Okay. So I became a Vox Pop presenter. From being a Vox Pop presenter in 2018, I think before 2019, I already became the host of that particular program I was doing a Vox Pop for.
Okay.
I was already the co-host of that program. And then like that, I became the host of the event, of the program,
Okay.
the youth program and all. Then even in 2020, I hosted my first live program.
Okay.
On a national TV. 2 hours program.
Oh.
On air. So you can imagine you're a TV person, you shouldn't understand the point, how you've grown. You've grown to a point hosting a recorded program like this before they've noticed that you can actually be live without making mistakes, without committing blunders, without, putting their station at risk. They gave me 2 hours hosting a live program. It was even a Valentine's program.
Wow.
And that program was not just a live program. We had a guest, a live guest,
Okay.
and then we had audience members, live audience members.
Okay.
So we had a guest here whom we were, asking, interviewing, and all of that. Then we had the audience members live that could actually throw questions at us or
Yeah.
ask questions. And it was in my responsibility and that of the co-host to coordinate all of these things and make it come out fine. I'm trying to explain all of these things so that you understand how I moved from
Yeah.
being a camera person. I started as a camera person in 2017 to being a Vox Pop presenter, to being a co-host of that same program, and
Yeah.
then a host of that program, and a live show host.
Yeah.
We're talking about NTA here,
Yeah.
and you can understand that,
It's quite a journey.
okay, like that. So it happened that way. That was 2020. Then 2021, 2022, it happened like that. Now, at the point, I told you about how I was finding it difficult to go to work and then return.
Yeah.
I was never missing a day
Hmm.
throughout. When I did my IT with NTA Port Harcourt, I never missed a day. Some students will be like, okay, I'm just a student now. Nothing, I will just cook up stories to fill my logbook and all of that. I never missed a day. Then when I came for that internship or volunteering opportunity for myself, I never missed a day, despite the challenges of, fare and all.
No,
I never missed. I was just doing it.
I do. I want to ask you, don't you think there's a difference between volunteering and then an internship program?
Now, thank you very much. Now, here is the thing. I call that, it wasn't really internship. If you want to call it internship is more like you are being recommended or you are coming from an institution.
Yeah.
That's the way I say it, all right? You're coming from an institution probably with a letter. But I'm not calling it internship. Or I want to call it internship, fine, but I call it the senior level volunteering.
Wait,
High level volunteering.
wait. If I understand you, okay, you left your house.
Yeah.
You saw a need.
Yes.
These people needed help.
Yeah.
Okay, and then you're willing.
I didn't even see that they needed help. I saw that I needed more help than they needed me actually.
Okay, so
Of course, they were benefiting a whole lot from me and opting.
now let me just ask you this. Usually, okay, when people volunteer, okay, or help other people, it's usually that they are trying to, offer help to someone who is maybe underprivileged,
Okay.
or not up to, not able to do certain things for themselves. Okay, now if you are benefiting from the entire volunteering thing, don't you think it's a bit selfish? Because you understand what I mean? Like people who go into volunteering activities, sometimes they might want to say they are doing it to help the other person. Okay. But at the end of the day, they benefit more than the people they are helping.
Well, it all depends on the way you see it, you look at it, however you want to look at it. But what I'm going to say is that the volunteer and the person or the platform being volunteered for, they are both winners.
Okay. That means there's nothing wrong if you're volunteering and that volunteering.
I will explain what I mean by that.
Okay.
For me to approach NTA that I wanted to volunteer with them, I wanted them to accommodate me. Of course, they did not come to me. I went to them. That's because you feel that, okay, they didn't. That's why I said they didn't even need me per se. Even if they needed my service, they needed me as per. I have a lot to offer, but they wouldn't have come to me. Now me, when need need them more or need them more, I may go for them. Okay, so this is it. That thing I was doing for them, anybody else could do it.
Okay.
But I decided that I needed to do it for them. So that I get also, the benefit I was getting, it wasn't physical.
Okay.
Of course, I told you I wasn't getting that. I could have, after my program, I would have just applied for a job, right? Where I'll be getting 50,000 naira, at the least 50,000 naira at the end of the month, 70,000, 100,000 naira as the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
But no, I didn't want that. I went for something that, even though the benefit will not, I was not seeing the material benefits as at the time. I was hoping for something bigger in the future, and which is what has made me to become who I am today. And that is why you've actually got to know about me. If not for what I was doing back then, I doubt if Merit would have, known anybody called John Best. I used the platform of NTA to announce myself while I was also serving them, while I was also offering them service. I was offering them value, and the value was coming from, apart from, okay, I didn't tell you that I also moved from being a camera person, apart from being the presenter, I was doing voiceovers.
Okay.
I was editing productions.
Okay.
That is somebody that has so much. So virtually everything, the difference between myself and the NTA staff then, it was just the end of month salary they were receiving that I was not receiving. Because virtually everything that any TV producer was doing, I could do it, and I was doing it.
Now that
From from stage one to another to I know the production stages, all right, from A to Z. I can make a production ready for you to watch. I was doing feature productions for airing and all of that. Value, I was giving them, even, I wouldn't want to say much more than they were giving to me, but that's very fine. Okay, I was giving them, and they were receiving from me while I was also receiving from them, but theirs was not, material in some sense.
Okay. Now, usually when people want to volunteer, okay, let's say you're volunteering for a non-profit organization, okay, these people, they don't make much money really. They are just not there for profit making. Okay, so you're giving out your skill because you want to, support them achieve a cause. Okay. And then it's quite different when you're volunteering in a profit organization.
Mhm.
Do you understand? So somehow you would want to expect certain level of compensation. Okay.
Definitely.
Yes, for your skill. Do you
Okay, so let's talk about volunteering for non-profit.
Yes.
So how do I volunteer for the non-profit? The non-profit have their areas of work. They have certain things they need. They have an outline of the services they need and service providers for those, areas. Okay, let's call it roles. Say they need a media person. They need a project monitor or project manager. They need an monitoring and evaluation officer. They need, list them. Then they're also calling for volunteers,
Yeah.
people that will come and take up different roles to ensure that the project becomes a success,
Yeah.
and the impact is made. All right?
Yeah.
So how do I now benefit? Why should I volunteer for that platform, for such an NGO, when I'm gaining nothing?
No, not really.
Hold on, I'm not saying, hold on. I'll volunteer, and I know that, like I was saying, in as much as it's non-profit or non-for-profit, there are certain benefits you still get from volunteering for that platform.
Okay.
Exposure, experience. Now you may go in as a project manager, and okay, for instance, you've taken a project management course virtually or even on site, but you have not practiced project management.
Okay.
You've not done project management practically. You're opting to volunteer for that NGO and that role. You are opening yourself to learning the practicality of project management
Okay.
that would serve as, to add to your portfolio as a project manager. And then because when you're doing that, you did not know how to do it before, but when you came in, because you opted to do it, there was room for learning, and and all of that. The organization, they were actually open. They will tell you, okay, you will learn on the job, and truly they will teach you.
Okay.
What that helps you do, you are building your portfolio, right? Then the next, that particular experience you've got, of course, you're adding it to your CV, your resume, and then you're taking it, you're applying for a project management role in another organization, whether paid or non, whether an NGO or not an NGO kind of.
Yeah.
And at that point, you're being paid. So what have you got? You've got value from an NGO that you did something for without being paid.
Okay.
You've got experience, and that experience has landed you a paid job.
Okay.
Mind you, there are NGOs. We have paid volunteering roles and
Really?
unpaid volunteering roles.
Really?
Yes. But I usually I would tell people, my trainees, I would tell them that you cannot be offered. Personally, I would never open you up to a paid volunteer opportunity.
Well, but if it's paid, it's no longer
It's
volunteering.
volunteering, don't worry. It's still volunteering.
How so? Because volunteering is that you're offering your skill without receiving any financial benefits. That's what volunteering.
That is not commensurate to whatever you're giving, not as if it may be absolutely free.
Okay. So is it like you're going to negotiate this particular?
You're not going to negotiate it.
Okay.
Now the NGOs, some NGOs are funded, projects are funded. True or yes?
Of course.
So all of those NGOs, what they do is that as they are making their budgeting and planning and all of that, they add certain things. Okay, we need people that would go to the community, to this community, will sponsor their transport, their fare, and then their fare, each person would be for that day, we're paying each person 50,000 naira. That is, it's a stipend. We know it's not, it's not enough for the stress you are going to go through in that project, or doing that project.
Okay.
They will tell you that sometimes.
Okay.
All right. That's what paid volunteer role. It's paid. Now, I personally would okay, let me rephrase it. If you cannot volunteer without being paid, you cannot get paid volunteer opportunities. All right.
Okay.
What that means is that whatever you can do without being paid, you can do it and do it so well when you are offered something. True or yes?
Okay.
No, do you believe me?
Whatever you're being.
Do you agree with that?
Well,
you may not believe, but do you agree?
Of course.
Let me take that again.
Of course, you get the skill.
Whatever you can do for free, if I call you here now, Merit, please, would you mind doing a script for me? Pro bono. I'm not paying you. I do not have the money right now. I mean, I just want to use it to do something. I'll just come up with one excuse or the other. You say, okay, because of you're a friend, okay, let me just volunteer to do this. And mind you, you're just going to, the only thing is that you find a way to recommend me for other roles, paid jobs and all of that, right? Yeah, okay, no problems. I'll do that. What I have done is that you've registered yourself,
okay,
in my subconscious, that you were able to, even when I did not pay you 1 naira, you offered to do this thing for me and it came out fine.
Okay.
Imagine when I pay you $100, $10,000 to do that same thing or something similar.
An improvement.
You would definitely do it better, and you put in your all, even if it may not be better because you may have done, something very beautiful actually. Because if there's nothing to do beyond that, but you put in your all. You're giving your all to that project.
At least to ensure that it doesn't fall below standard.
Do you understand? And that's because I can only call you. I'll call you because you have done something for me. Or you have done something that I know, okay, you don't put money first somehow. Hello.
All right. But speaking of money first, okay. You just mentioned paid volunteering, okay, and the truth is that when young people volunteer, okay, for organizations, just like the challenges you're having or you had when you started going.
I don't have those challenges anymore.
Yes, when you had them when you started going to NTA.
Yeah.
Okay, challenges with transportation and all that. The truth is that this is one of the reasons why a lot of people don't volunteer for non-profit organizations, because they're looking at where will my next transport come in. Okay, what am I going to?
Nice one. Let's talk about that. Now, in volunteering, if you really know what you want to get, if you really know that, if you understand volunteering and understand it very well for your own good, all right, you would understand that there are sacrifices to be made.
Okay.
When you consider the benefits in 1 year time or 6 months time, 2 years time, and you can picture the benefits, you can already picture your future. I don't want to sound like picture your future. My goodness. See, Ryan, Father Lord.
You should be a pastor then.
So when you can see all of that ahead of time, and then you feel like, okay, I think all of these things I'm seeing, they're worth my sacrifice now. The sacrifice could be your transportation. You will take care of his transportation. I tell them in my training, I say it. Free volunteering roles, they talk a lot from you. It's free does not mean that you will not still put, you're not still pumping your money.
Mhm.
Here in Port Harcourt, for instance, I've been part of major projects, programs, events, different projects here in Port Harcourt and beyond. And where, talk about transportation to where, if you're having a meeting, a planning meeting,
Yeah.
we are talking about, you want to book boat. You know what that means? To and fro, you know what that means? You want to eat, of course. You have to eat. You know what that means? It's not free. But they're not considering the people you're volunteering for. They have told you it's a volunteer role. They don't make a budget for all of these things. So you take care of that for yourself. If you agree, fine. If you don't, stay back. So you just have to reason. You just have to consider that if you have a goal, if you have a target, if you have, you have projecting something, a projection of where you want to be after this volunteer opportunity, you may want to sacrifice all of that. You may want to see that as a very minor thing compared to what you want to get.
I have two questions
Okay.
from all you've been saying. The first one is, when a young person or young people majorly, when they volunteer for non-profit organizations, okay, with all their financial constraints and all that, and they are not getting anything, okay, in exchange financially, all right. Now, the skills or the supposedly good skills, okay, that they are supposed to gain by volunteering, and we know that non-profit organizations often have financial constraints, okay. How
There are a lot that still offer.
They're buoyant, really. Okay, but how those skills, okay, how possible? I'm trying to look at how professional those skills are, like the training. You keep using the word training.
You gain
Yes,
from
the
the
training you
experience.
gain from the experience.
Okay, so
Is
this
it
is
easy to translate? Like, how functional is it in a professional setting? Let me give you an instance. You're working as a project manager and all that, and NGOs most of the time, okay,
yeah.
especially those that have financial constraints, don't have all the money to buy all the equipment and all that. And maybe you're a media person, okay. Then after that experience, you maybe find yourself working or bidding for offer in a more professional media firm.
Yeah.
Okay, how valuable is the skill you get from
Now, this is it. That leads me to the point I usually would make, which is whenever you're volunteering, whatever platform you're volunteering for, always volunteer in the line of your expertise. I'll take that again.
Okay.
Whenever you have the opportunity to volunteer, do not volunteer blindly.
Okay.
Choose a role that aligns with your person, that aligns with whoever you want to sell, however you want to sell yourself to the world.
Yeah, but you mentioned that, okay, someone who is, just came out of the university freshly, you don't have experience working, you might have studied project management in school, but you don't have practical experience, and then you want to volunteer. What skills are you bringing to the table?
Okay, as a person.
Yes, as
Okay,
a person. You
okay,
don't have tangible
okay,
skills. So what are you?
Okay, you're talking in terms of the person that, in terms of the volunteer, right?
Yes,
the person going to the.
Yes.
I mean, I'm giving you my time. I come your office. I'm coming to support this project
Like, you
with my
just come
time.
and sit
Hold on.
down.
I'm not coming to sit down. I'm coming, number one, I have, for instance, theoretical knowledge of this thing.
Okay.
And then I'm willing to learn in the process of trying to support you. Now, mind you, these organizations, sometimes NGOs particularly, they are not looking for somebody. Of course, if they are looking for somebody that that has all the experience, they will pay hugely and all of that, right? But these people, they know that they can easily get people that are just leaving school, people that have not really, practiced that stuff in real sense and all of that. That's not to say that you just accept people or you go for a role that you have no knowledge about, right? No, not so. But I may not have had practical knowledge.
Okay.
I'm just leaving school. Of course, the essence of that is of me opting for that volunteer opportunity is to learn, right? As well, support them. Supporting them in this case, I may not be bringing,
So much expertise.
so much expertise, but I have some knowledge
Okay.
and I can grow in it, grow with that, through that platform. And I'm willing to. And so some of these organizations are also willing to offer, in fact, they even state it. Of course, they know that you want to learn on the job, you learn on the job, you learn on the, you cannot get like the experts, and you're calling for a volunteer, especially non-paying, volunteer role. No.
Okay.
All right. So you are coming and then growing with them and doing certain things and all of that. So what the point I was trying to make is that you must never allow yourself to volunteer in a role that does not align with your person.
Okay.
Always volunteer in even if it's an event, a program, an event. All right. As a person, if I want to volunteer for any platform right now, people already know. If I'm opting for an event, people already know. It is obvious that this is the area that I'm going to be volunteering.
Okay.
Media, communication, publicity, and all of those stuff. That is me. And then coordinating the team or of volunteers and all of that. That is my core. Already, they know. I cannot opt for a volunteer role now and then I'm going to, the medical team. I mean, how far?
Oh God.
What am I going to tell? What am I going to tell the people? I mean, what am I going to do there? All right. Now, it does not end there. The reason I'm asking you to volunteer in the role that you want to be known for is this. When you volunteer in that, you show your expertise there or you volunteer for that project, what do you tell the world that you did?
Okay.
Talking about where, the social media world, you have to sell yourself.
Yeah.
That is where volunteering benefits you as a person. You're going to use whatever you have done through that project. You're going to tell us, your online observers,
Okay.
and your potential clients, prospectives. Yes, I volunteered. Oh, I wouldn't even use the word volunteer. I was part of this project, Make in Nigeria. And it gives, I handled the audience so well. I was I was opportune to moderate the program. I was opportune to be the official host of that program, host MC.
Wait,
for that
the
project.
reason you're not going to say I volunteered for this project, is it because it's going to
I don't want you to come to me afterwards and then ask that I come volunteer for you.
Okay.
At this point, I'm only selling myself. I'm not telling you to come and call me to volunteer for you. Hello. Are you getting what I'm trying to say?
Okay.
I'm not trying to market my volunteer skills or anything. I'm trying to market who I am.
Okay.
I'm trying to tell you that, come, I can do this and I have done this thing for this project and it worked. These were the reviews, the feedback I got. This is it from it. I'm not coming to tell you that I volunteered for project this, project that. I'm coming to tell you that I was part of this team. I did this, I did that. It happened like this. These were the results I got. These were the reviews I got from the event. At the end, a call to action. If you need a corporate event host that would put, your audience, that hold your audience down from beginning to the end without losing them.
Okay.
Call me, book me, 0810-151-3195, or send a mail.
Are you just promoting yourself right now?
I'm not. I'm only okay. Well, you want to call it that. However,
oh my God.
But yeah, do you understand now? There's always a call to action at the end of any project you're part of.
Yeah.
And that is what volunteering. That's what most people do not understand about volunteering. No, so you volunteer for this project. Yeah, I volunteered for this project. I did this. I did that. You volunteered. Okay.
Yeah,
when we need volunteers, how does it add to your brand? When I need a volunteer next time, I'll come for you. Yes, because you are a volunteer.
No, wait, that even reminds me. There's something I want to ask you. You've seen a whole lot of paid events, okay? Events where people have to pay to attend, okay? And sometimes you see these, organizers of these events calling for volunteers online. And of course, they are not going to be paid. Is it even right to ask people to volunteer for an event you're receiving money for without paying them. Do you understand what I'm saying?
All right.
How right is that?
It is right.
No, I feel that
Yeah, okay.
I feel that if you are receiving financial benefits,
Yeah.
okay, you have a product or you're selling a service, people are paying to attend the event, and then someone is coming into, nobody should be offering service free.
Saying it is right or wrong, I would allow you to decide to accept, to choose the particular response you want to get. Either it's a yes, it's a no. That is, either it's the right thing to do or not the right thing to do. But I'll come from this angle. Most of these events you see, 5,000 naira, 2,000 naira, 100,000 naira, frankly speaking, I've been a part of major events here in Port Harcourt. Some of them, a lot of them, they don't make so much money, especially when it comes to knowledge, when it comes to these knowledge, conferences,
Okay.
summits, seminars, and all of that. Some of them, not all anyways,
Yeah.
some of them do not have all that it requires to actually make that event happen.
Okay.
The amount that they are collecting, the monies they are collecting from these participants, sometimes it's not enough to even fund the event itself, to make the event happen. So it's still their monies. Then the only thing is that we know what they are gaining from that event. Sometimes it's just PR. Some of these events are PR strategies.
Okay.
Most of them actually, they're just PR strategies.
Okay.
Not as if the monies we are calling for. Sometimes they give free tickets. They offer free tickets to participants just to allow that, make sure that the hall is full.
It's full. Okay. No, but I'm looking at if
So when they are calling for volunteers, don't think that because they are asking for 5,000 for participants and then you see 100 people at that event, and so if they call for volunteers and 50 people show up, you think they will and then they give out that maybe 5,000 each to
no,
each
I'm just
volunteer and
thinking
all of
that there should be
What's
some level of
compensation?
Yes, compensation.
There are compensations now. Maybe you have a free T-shirt, you have free access to some of the speakers for this event.
Okay.
That ordinarily you're going to pay to have sessions with them, maybe 100,000, 50,000. But when you're volunteering for some of these platforms, they'll offer all of these things to you free.
Yeah, that's
And again, for some of the paid events, your volunteering alone tells that, of course, gives you the free access to attend the event itself.
Okay.
If you don't volunteer for that, of course, and you don't have the money to pay, how would you attend? Hello? So you are getting something somehow in return. Above all of the ones I've just mentioned, you know that you want to develop yourself.
Okay.
You're developing yourself professionally, career-wise, personally, financially, or however you want to put it. Because you're learning. You may want to be an event planner, event organizer, some of these things you get to learn. Now, we have a lot of people that attend high-profile events. They pay. There's this event in Port Harcourt. They fly from Abuja to attend the event. They pay for that event. They attend. They have an event in Lagos. They pay for that. Fly from Port Harcourt to Lagos to attend that event. And some of them, the idea of them attending this event is that they want to organize their own event.
Okay, but so they just want
to be part of it. But let me tell you, there's difference between you being a participant at an event and a volunteer.
Okay.
A volunteer gets more exposure to the behind the scenes of the event, while the participant is just in front, seeing what the finished product of whatever has gone behind.
Okay.
What I'm trying to say is that a participant that paid 100,000 naira to attend high-profile events, when he or she wants to attend or organize his event,
he won't have.
He may not have so much experience to put that event together.
Yeah.
But a volunteer that is dedicated, committed to his job, to his role, her role, really already knows what happened, what went into that event. Is it the budget thing? Is it the speaker management? Is it the vendors management? Is it the logistics and all of that? These guys would understand better, and it becomes easier for them to put up their event, and their event becomes volunteering. Volunteering.
I want to ask you a question.
Let me say this. I don't know if you're going to ask that, but let me say this. I'm already dishing out some of the things I actually teach in my volunteer course, and all of that. Here is the thing. I was going to say that I cannot volunteer in volunteering, you give yourself a target.
Okay.
Give yourself a target. Say, I'm volunteering for this platform. I may volunteer for this platform today. I will volunteer for it next year, but the next year I won't volunteer for it again, because by that time I must have gotten the exposure I want, must have gotten the experience I want. I want to move on. I've gone beyond that platform. So there are platforms today that I can't volunteer for. There are platforms today that I can't volunteer for. There are events you reach out to me for, I won't be a part of right now.
So the whole idea
What it means that I have outgrown those platforms. It feels like if I'm staying there, I'm not growing.
Okay.
I should be somewhere else, bigger. There are people that are coming behind that should be on that platform. That is not to say if I have volunteer
To help
opportunities
them,
to help, I still take them with me and all of that, right? But for some of those ones, people that are just coming out, let me just feel about that role. So I don't volunteer for all kinds of programs, all kinds of events, all kinds of platforms. Right now, I don't do that. Whether NGO, no NGO, I won't do that. Even some paid, I may not want to do.
Oh, so you're saying if there's any way we want to make volunteering profitable for us,
You have to
is that
understand
we
the
must-
intrigues of what, you know.
Okay, speaking of development or building skills, I'll just ask this question, then we move on to opportunities, how to get volunteering opportunities. For people who are just coming out of the universities,
Yeah.
okay, do you think it's more, they get more skills by becoming entrepreneurs than by volunteering? Take for instance, when you are an entrepreneur, you are like the boss, okay? You are the marketing director, you are the manager, you are the sales rep, you are everything. You are just out there, doing whatever it takes to get your business out there. You are just all of those things are skills,
Yeah.
okay, that can easily be translated into the professional world.
Mm.
Okay, do you think it's better to pursue becoming an entrepreneur than to just
Even
go and-
becoming an entrepreneur, entrepreneurs still volunteer. So there are levels to these things, right? There are levels to these things.
Yeah.
The biggest entrepreneurs, it may be shocking to hear that they still volunteer, but in their own level.
Yeah, to build connections,
To build connections, you've got it already.
work with other people.
Somebody wants to, Dangote, maybe for instance, you call Dangote one bigger person that he has been meaning to meet, maybe one world-class entrepreneur, business person he's been meaning to meet. Because, okay, there's an opportunity, okay, can we meet? He may want to pay his fare to that place just to satisfy that guy, and then
Would it just be to attend the event or to be backstage?
to do something, make contributions, and if the person calls him now, okay, it's actually an opportunity, and then he wants to just give his maybe opinions, contributions in some ways, and all of that, right? And at the end, he gets what he wants. That relationship builds it.
Okay.
So there are levels to it. So now talking about the entrepreneurs and all of that. So you want to use the excuse of being an entrepreneur, not to,
No,
in order
like
for you.
you start a business because you want to use that to develop skills that you can
That
easily
business you've started, there are people that are bigger, that are doing better than you, all right? What I would advise you to do to grow up faster in this case, you may do well if you continue, right? But of course, you know that there are people that have done it more than 100 times and they are doing better than you right now. Why not go to them, learn from them, and then hasten up, let it, fast track your growth.
Okay.
Instead of remaining there and doing it by, try by error, and then
So they
you
can
are
volunteer.
slowing down and all of that. It's slowing down your growth. Go volunteer. Learn this thing on almost free pro bono. Learn it pro bono and all of that. And then go implement in your own, your business. And then you'll see that you grow faster than if you had continued on your own.
Wow.
All of the things we do, we volunteer for some of these platforms to say, let's go and let's take all the experiences we've gathered to
Yeah.
put into our own brands. There's a platform we've done stuff with, and then you just see this guy, you see the organizer of this particular, you just see the way he reasons. You see his own strategies. So how does he even do this thing? How does he even gather these people? Make sure that these people come to, sorry, excuse me, please. So how does it do all of these things? You begin to wonder. But when you go close as a volunteer, if you have the opportunity, go close as a volunteer. You learn all of those things. You go and then implement it. Now, let me share a story, very short one with you. There was this person I had been meaning to reach out to. This thing happened between 2023 and 2024. This is it. He was having an event in Lagos. He was having an event outside of Nigeria.
Okay.
Moving people for, some participants, sponsoring them to outside of Nigeria. I don't want to be very particular.
Yeah.
I reached out to him. I had attended his event the previous year. And so we were in a group together, one of the participant group. Of course, he's the organizer. So I had reached out to him on WhatsApp. I dropped a long message. Sir, I introduced myself. I am this. I want to do this for you. Particularly, I want to voice as a way of contributing to the success of this event.
Yeah.
I want to do this audio, this jingle for you. I want to do this for you. I listed certain things I wanted to do for him. I dropped it on WhatsApp. I went on Facebook to his message. I sent him that same message on Facebook. He read it on WhatsApp. He did not reply. Read it on Messenger. He did not reply. To less than a month or less than 2 months after the event, he did outside of Nigeria.
Yeah.
So when he was about doing that same event here in Port Harcourt, he reached out to some persons, and one of the team members recommended him to me. And get it now, get the gist. I was one out of, say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Okay.
I was one amongst the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 persons before. The core team, actually, the formation of the core team.
Wow.
This is somebody that I had wanted to, connect with
willingly,
and then I wanted to do something for him, just for me to connect with him. So you see how this thing works.
Yeah.
At that point, what happened? The lady sent my details to him. At that point, he was now the one searching for me. Searched me on Facebook, sent me a friend request, followed me. There's somebody that had sent a DM. He read the message, he didn't reply. I can actually show you. So he followed me, sent me a request, I accepted. I just smiled. He sent me a message himself, sent the message. And I read it. Say yes, I'll be available. What that entails is that if you must volunteer, or if you want to get anything, value attracts value.
Yeah.
Value does what? Attracts value. That's why I was saying something off cam, right? And I said, I don't expect that you want to volunteer for a role or for anything without knowing what you're going in for, what you want to do. Now, if you opt to volunteer for any role, anything, any platform, and you don't have anything to offer, you will so float. You will so float. You will float like by the end of that project, the event, the people, the organizers, the members of the team, they won't know you, and you'll be so irrelevant.
But I thought it was supposed to be a learning platform, really.
Yes, but you have something to give now. You did give
in exchange for
that.
Value.
Yes.
Yeah.
You make yourself relevant, actually. You have to make yourself. You have to be very intentional in volunteering. If not, you will volunteer from year 1 to year 100 without getting anything. That's why you see some people jump from here to here. They are jumping on volunteer opportunities. I can't see a volunteer opportunity online right now maybe a link and then I want to join without understanding the platform, without knowing that platform.
Yeah,
Right now, see
that,
me.
that reminds me. There are opportunities online. Okay, there are organizations online that are offering volunteer opportunity. They call it volunteerism. Okay, opportunities to young people who want to go abroad to volunteer. Okay.
Now,
How
I'm
legitimate
aware.
is that?
I'm aware of UNV.
Okay.
That is United Nations Volunteer Network, UNVN or so. Yeah, United Nations. That one is, of course, very legit. You know that.
Yeah.
And if you can volunteer with UN, if you can be recognized as a UN volunteer, of course, that when you're talking about stipends, that's where, when a foreign body is offering you a stipend, when they say
It's not
stipend,
really stipend,
it's
but
really stipend.
it's stipending.
The stipend can really stipend. I mean, all right. Okay, so there are so many online volunteer opportunities, and one of the most verifiable one and most reliable you can think of is the UNV, right? The United Nations Volunteer Network.
Yeah.
Okay, now that's we have the online and we have the on-site. That is when you're filling that platform, when you are when you're signing up for that.
Yeah.
Of course, you're filling in with your details, with your CV or so, and there are different locations. Say, for instance, in the UK, Ghana, Nigeria, or there are different locations that are made available for you to volunteer, either on site or online. And then, if your volunteer portfolio matches any of that, you may be contacted and
Should people be paying money to access volunteer opportunities?
should people be paying money to
Yes.
access volunteer
Yes.
opportunities?
Should organizations charge volunteers a certain fee to give them access?
That one I no do. I beg, how person won't begin to pay, they ask you as an organization, I say come and volunteer for me, then I will ask you to
No,
pay me.
how it works is that these people, okay, they claim that they have opportunities abroad that people can, take
Those are not the
advantage of.
people. They are not the organizations that are offering that volunteer opportunity. No, it can't be.
So people just pay subscription fee to them, and that covers more like your accommodation, your flight tickets, and some other things that they list. And then the volunteer makes payments, and then that's how legitimate is that really?
Honestly, I'm trying to rack my head and to understand how that would work or how it works, because I've not found myself in that situation and I've not seen that before. The only thing I would say right here is that anybody that is opting for such an opportunity, you should just be very careful.
Yeah.
Yeah, extremely careful. Do your due diligence. Do your due diligence. Make ask questions.
Yeah.
Do your findings and ensure that whatever you're going into, it is either legitimate or it is extremely legitimate.
Now, actually, this is very important because, at this point, Nigerians are literally looking for JAPA strategies. So
anybody can just walk up to them and put out something online and they come and
put up something online and you
be very careful.
payments,
Hey, be very careful. Be very, very, very careful. Now, talking about opportunities, volunteer opportunity, why you should. Let's say why you should even volunteer. It is very easy, very, very easy for you to get recommendations when you volunteer. For instance, like I have a lot of people that volunteer with me, especially in my branding and all of that. And it's easier for me to recommend them when people need their services.
Okay.
I won't leave them to recommend other people when I know that they can actually deliver on that job.
Okay.
So recommendations. Number two, hands-on practical, hands-on experience. Organizations are not looking for people with first class. First class is very good.
It's about what you can do.
But they will prefer somebody that has experience in a particular role. They are looking for that to employ a first class graduate that has not practiced anything around that role. So statistics has it that employers would rather go for experienced people that have undergone certain volunteer opportunities or training, and they've gotten certain experience in such areas than go for the people with certificates, just certificates.
And how to
Maybe
find opportunities
how to find those opportunities.
platform.
Okay.
Good.
Now, a lot of you make some mistakes. Some of the mistakes you make is, you belong to a particular volunteer platform, and immediately, for instance, it's a project, maybe it's 2 months project or 6 months project or 1 week project. And at the end of that project, you quickly exit yourself from that group. Hey, what stops you from staying on that group and then connecting with the people there? All right. Connect with other volunteers as well as other team members, management in quotes, management members, maybe management members of that team. All right. Connect with them. And again, did I tell you that that platform, the convener, the organizer, the champions of that platform would rather, if they see an opportunity, they will first drop that opportunity on that volunteer platform just to encourage you, just to support you, just to put, they will drop it on that platform before they send it anywhere else. So what happens? When you exited the group? If you've exited the group after the project,
you missed out on it.
You missed out of that, right? You've missed an opportunity. So do not be in a haste, all right, or in haste to exit platforms. You may want to say, okay, messages that are coming there are too much for me. That's why you have to see if the platforms you belong to.
Yeah.
Select them. Be very selective of the platform. So anyone you're joining, anyone you're identifying with, know what you're buying into, know what you're going into. So if they are dropping messages, is either those messages that are related to what you opted for, or maybe it's just a particular time, a point in time that they just decide to do that, maybe engagement and all of that. Try to try to be very, in this case, try to learn to absorb some of these things for what you are aiming to get.
Yeah.
Don't say the place is too rowdy, people are dropping too many messages, I don't want to be receiving. What's the essence of the WhatsApp message? I mean, having a WhatsApp group or belonging to a WhatsApp group when you don't want to get messages. Why? So remain there. These guys will definitely drop messages, platforms, opportunities that you would want to pick up. All right, how to get these opportunities. Show what you've got, even when it is not asked for. Because show what you've got, even when it is not what asked for. By that I mean, you are this person. I'm a corporate event. I'm a voiceover artist. So whenever I find myself, there is just a way I would do this thing for you to notice me.
Okay.
It is marketing. It is branding. I just want you to notice me, and then you ask me, oh, you do this? Yes, I do it. That's the whole idea. And do everything and anything you're doing, do it with the totality of yourself. Do it with the whole heart. So volunteer or opt for volunteer roles that you know you will be available for. What is the essence of opting for a volunteer role or opportunity, and you're filling in, the numbers, but you're not doing the work? A simple task you cannot carry out. You belong to a particular unit in that, on that platform, but you can't do it. Nobody knows that you are there. Nobody sees anything you do. Nothing. Avoid it. 2025, if you must volunteer, if you want to understand more about volunteering, maybe closely and all of that, I think that's where the pay for the course. All that we have discussed here is just more like
maybe just take this last opportunity to tell us about your course, what you do, how people can sign up for your course.
Okay, it's very simple. I do this. The course title is Volunteering and the Hidden Treasures, right? Volunteering and the Hidden Treasures, learning to volunteer right and gainfully. All that we have discussed here, very few things I have mentioned here, right? But taking that course, we're going straight up to telling you how to go about volunteering, right? Misconceptions about volunteering, what volunteering actually, really entails, how to do it, how to sell yourself, market yourself through volunteering, and how to, of course, connect with people and using that platform of volunteering and all, and mistakes to avoid, why you shouldn't even opt for every volunteer opportunities, how to outgrow
certain
platforms. Like I said, I don't go feel volunteer for every kind of platform right now.
Okay, so the course is online.
Yeah, so to be part of it, I don't know when this is going to get to you, but to be part of it, simply Search John Best Uche, the social voice on all platforms. All right. Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, X, at the social voice NG. That's the handle. And then the display name you would find everywhere and anywhere. John Best Uche. That's what you see. If you want to even search him, you may want to Google search John Best Uche,
The
or you
social
want to
voice.
go with the hashtag the social voice on Facebook, on Instagram, anywhere. I think it will take you to my page, it will take you to my content and everything. Then send a DM, send a message, and let's get talking about it. You want to do it on a personal level, very, maybe 45 minutes virtual, 1 hour physical consultation, and all of that. I'm very open for that. You can always drop a message. Maybe the number you want to reach out to, this is my direct number. You may not need to, for this, you may not need to, or even when you reach out, I'll still connect you with my EA. All right, 0810151395, 0810151395. Drop a message and tell me that this is it. You want to be part of it. You want to get more insight about volunteering and all of that. And of course, that's just very little out of the many things that we do.
Thank you very much for coming on the show. It has been very wonderful having you.
And thank you so very much for having me on the Authors Authors Podcast, Plotting Change Podcast, actually.
All right. Thank you very much. And thank you for staying with us all through this episode. We are very grateful to you. I hope that you found value with this our conversation so far, and every information that we have put out here. I hope it improves your volunteering experience and helps you gain value. Thank you very much. I'm going to drop the link to buy the course on the description button of this video. So you just click and then it takes you straight to where you can get the course. And then remember to follow us on all our social media platforms at the Plotting Change Podcast. My name is Mary Thompson, and I'll see you in the next episode.